Now, good evening slash afternoon for many of you. So I have a really busy night tonight. So Satsang's a little early, but most of you watch it tomorrow anyway. But with that, we have a really cool tool we're going to be unfolding into really the mysteries within. Now, in terms of unlocking them and diving deep into our full potential of pureness, we're going to do a little visualization exercise. So this is going to be a very important tool for your spiritual tool belt. So go ahead and get cozy, get your last few wiggles out. And when you hear the first three taps of the singing bowl, take a nice deep breath in. As you fill yourself up with air, the prana, the chi around you, release that exhale to a powerful yet gentle om. Begin to distinguish between the observer and that in which is observed. Simply watch the body, listen at a distance. And as you rest within yourself, fall deep into your heart so you may unlock and tap into the full magic within. Simply marinate within yourself. Allow all distractions to simply be. Do not force or silence anything. Allow yourself to purely exist. Begin to detach yourself from this bodily identification, the denseness of our physicality, and begin to see yourself as this ethereal fluid, light like air, flow like water. When you hear the final tap of the bowl, take a nice deep breath in again when you hear that note. And draw in the breath as long as you can, as slow as you can. And as the sound of the ring fades into silence itself, so too release the breath into the calm, the stillness that is ever present. And it's here in this calm, this peace, that we come to recognize it as something that is radiating from us. For it is our pure beingness that is the radiating source of all the goodness we experience. Unlocking the mysteries within is more akin to simply appreciating the divine that is constantly overlooked. Do not control the body, but simply watch it take long, deep breaths. Being sure to fill yourself up with as much of the prana, the chi, the air around you. before comfortably, rhythmically, and slowly releasing it. It's here that we allow our own act of respiration to be the metronome of our own meditation. Long and slow, deep breaths. And as the body continues to breathe, visualize yourself being illuminated with light. Every breath is drawing in millions of these tiny sparks. For we are swimming in a divine ether. And this electromagnetic energy flows through us, radiates from us. And with every breath, you can harness this power. As you begin to breathe, imagine the breath starting in your root chakra. And as you inhale, it begins to climb up towards the sacral, the solar plexus, the heart, through the throat, the third eye, and the crown. And as you exhale, it flows forward, making a loop from the body, going from the crown of the skull, across the brow, down the nose, the front of the chest, the navel, all the way back down to the root. And it's here in this cyclic breathing we turn our wheel, allowing the energy pathways and channels to fully open up as we relax and sink deeper and deeper into this piece of our own creation, of our own beingness. Continue to rhythmically breathe in such a fashion, allowing the body to take over. As you consciously see that energy turning all through, within, and around you. It's here we take one deep breath. We allow ourselves to comfortably hold it in as long as we can. And as we're holding this breath, we distance ourselves from the body, allowing it to take over. As we begin to create a beautiful image of a mysterious door in front of us. There is nothing to the background, but simply a door floating in an empty abyss. A dark and vast, expansive space. Although it is darkness, the door stands illuminated. It intrigues you. Continue to visualize this door of your own creation. What does it look like? What is it made of? Imagine everything from the trim to the door to the handle. Even if there's a window, you still can't see what's beyond on the other side. As you begin to build this vision of your mind's eye, you slowly approach the door until you're just within arm's reach. Come to recognize that this door represents the secrets within yourself, the secrets of the universe. It is this gateway within your own heart that we must cross. Stepping through the threshold, this door opens us up to that in which we currently are hidden from within our own being. So, what is it you want to know about yourself? What question do you yearn for? What answer do you fully seek? When you have the question in mind, you hear the door unlocking. For remember, it is your door, it is your heart, it is your gateway to Source. But we must utilize our powers as the divine, the gods and goddesses of creation we are, to fully harness this power of free will. You must choose. Know that life is always eagerly waiting for your decisions, for your choices, for the direction you seek to take. For with your divine powers, it will manifest and assist you every way it can. But as life is, it is a lesson of love. The mechanisms of operations are through love. That in which you seek, you will find. As you take another deep breath here, you reach out and push the door open. Looking at it from a distance, it appears as if there is nothing behind the door. It is still appearing as the door floating in an empty space. But as you test and check through the threshold itself, it opens up into a vast space. It's here within your beingness that you must choose. Do you seek to enter into the unknown, to discover? Or do you choose to remain on the other side of the door, limited by your imagination, driven by your assumptions? It's here that loving light of calm, of peace, of source love itself begins to radiate and shine from the center point, the heart, that evokes the courage, the drive, the action into your beingness. So you walk through the threshold and enter into the unknown. Seemingly transported into a whole new space itself. You turn around and the door is gone. And when you turn back around, there is an elegant mirror in front of you. This is a mirror of your own creation, whether it be antique or modern, it matters not. And simply looking at the mirror is your own reflection. That image of your potential unlocked, your beingness actualized, the version of yourself that achieves every goal that you seek. It is this perfect image of you that represents every ounce of divine potential that lies dormant, awaiting your application and your assimilation into understanding and action. So, what does this version of yourself look like? What does this version of yourself feel like? Come to understand that this has nothing to do with your imagination. This has nothing to do with concepts, theories, assumptions. For this reflected self is the higher self that is you. It is that in which you currently know is possible for yourself. And when we cross the threshold into our heart, we come to recognize we already know what's right and wrong. We already know who we are and what we're not. We already know who we are and what we can be. But what holds us back from actualizing that higher perfected self, from manifesting into this physical world? Come to understand that the only limiting factor in this experience is you. Anything is possible. Everything is within your reach to manifest. Fully love yourself, just as you felt that higher self did in your reflection. As you continue to gaze upon that perfected image of yourself, this is your opportunity to communicate with your higher self, to ask that question, to seek out the advice. And come in contact with that pureness that is you, ever present. Give this stillness your full attention and focus. And as you converse with your higher self, begin to soak up that perfected energy. Begin to emulate the emotional state, the physical state, the mental happenings of that ideal version of yourself. It's in this moment you must recognize that there is nothing that can hold you back but a thought. And when you look within yourself in this loving light, when you come in contact with that higher self, you have already begun the process of manifesting it. For the first step is always a recognition, a seeing. Allow whatever arises to simply unfold before you. Before you depart this space with this divine mirror, we give ourselves a loving embrace. As you know, the potential within you is there. Yet it's this first realization and recognition of its existence that begins this process of unfoldment, of actualizing such potential. As we gain the information and resources we know, we turn around and see the door in which we entered upon appear again. Now remain in this space as long as you need to commune and make contact with that higher self, to gain the ins and outs of operation that you need to bring it to fruition. However long it takes for you to emulate and radiate that perfected energy, do so. Simply rest and marinate within yourself. And if you feel ready to come back to the waking state, walk back through that door. And as you cross through the threshold back into this vast darkness, blackness of space, this empty void, you turn around and the door is still there. However, it locked again. Know now in your heart that anytime you truly have a question, an inquiry, one of these highest yearnings and aspirations, only when we confidently, consciously, and in the full knowing of that in which we seek will the door reopen. Imprint this door in your mind's eye and come to understand that it is always present. Use this tool whenever necessary to enter into your own records, to commune with your own highest self and perfected version of this being, this life, and unlock the many mysteries that lie within. For every question leads to a new destination. When you hear this next tap of the bowl, again, take a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, release a mighty Om, gentle yet calm, strong and powerful, and proclaim that gained understanding of communing with your higher self out to the world through the expression of this divine chord as your proclamation and declaration that you shall bring it to fruition. Mm. Mm. Namaste. I bow to the divine within you, and I hope you enjoyed. I'm going to keep it brief because I got to get rolling. But in terms of this visualization exercise, recognize that the more that you really give it the time to paint the picture, create this beautiful image in your own mind's eye, in your own headspace, the quicker it will become to enter into that being, that state of consciousness, you can say. For all of these things are just tools. They're just tools, reminders. You can almost see it as like what would you call it? I'm totally spacing on the word. Not an evacuation cord or evacuation pole, but more so a lifeline, a tether that'll allow you to kind of get a quick whoop back into your center. In terms of the questions you can ask yourself, Your curiosity is the only thing that limits you from recognizing the beauty that can be discovered through this technique. Now, in terms of the bringing out your potential and unlocking the magic and mystery behind life, oh, it never ends. There was like three different tools technically in this one that you can utilize individually, but when utilized in tandem, incredibly powerful. The breath, consciously breathing the wheel up and down, having that be your chi, your prana circulatory system, your energetic flow, just focusing on that alone will, boom, those mysteries will start opening up. You'll be tapping into the energetic realm easier. You're going to observe it more within yourself and others around within the works. In terms of the building the door, really that entire black space aspect, being in a void yet seeing an image, that right there is an avenue of exploration that can unfold. You could focus on any item or object, and you're going to surprise yourself when some things start to manifest. Because there may just be a thing where you are picturing a certain item, and like an hour, 2 hours, maybe the next day, you see it in real life. Like, boom, whoa, whoa, freaks you out. But don't worry. These are techniques and subtle, I should say, they're more subtle techniques that, when applied and mastered, they lead to very drastic and dope experiences. Now, the one that I really want to highlight again is that last one where you go through the door, you ask it a question, it unlocks, you step through the threshold, and boom, you're encountering a mirror. Now, in terms of our physical world, mirrors are portals. In terms of your own creation and visualization, this mirror represents that reflected higher self. That when you look at yourself, it's looking back at you all the time. It's always observing. And in terms of really bringing out the full potential and magic and mystery of this life and experience, when you see and commune with that perfected self, you see yourself as you ideally want to see yourself. Perfect hair, perfect eyes, perfect teeth, yoked, chiseled, curvy, whatever it is, that's what you see. And this is why there was another subtle, technically there's four, a subtle little practice is to not see the body as this dense physical bag of flesh, but to see it as that ethereal cloud of energy, that cloud of gas. It's fluid, flows like water, moves like air. Now, if you practice that enough and you really come to understand that everything is energy from this perspective, you will firsthand experience it. You'll also begin to tap into the miracle types of powers, which in truth isn't necessarily like anything super like Jesus level, like curing leprosy or anything like that. Yet, if you develop it, it can be. But it's one of those things that it'll open you up into the abilities of manifestation and really imposing your will in a good way. Now, all of this stuff comes from love. None of these things can be activated. None of these things can be fully awakened and manifest if they're coming from a place of ego or negativity or separation. So, whew, I know I said I got to keep it short, so I got to keep it short. With that, I love you so much. May the fruit of knowledge offer a seed, and in that seed may your love, will, and intuition give life and nourishment. For a tree shall grow, and in its shade may you find peace, and offer peace to all who ask. I love you so much. Whew. I mean, I am so energized. I haven't eaten yet today, but I did my liver cleanse and gallbladder cleanse last night, and oh man, I feel great. I didn't realize. I thought it was a tight oblique or lat. It was my liver. It blew my mind. And I'm super healthy, but I was recommended it. If you haven't yet, check out the Creatives Chat show. I'm actually going to be interviewing an iridologist, irisologist. She studies the eyes, and she actually recommended the liver cleanse. I had been feeling it for about 2 weeks now, and it was just like the last, like, yep, okay, I'll do it, because she figured out that I was a vegetarian just by looking in my eyes. It was, dude, it's the most wild thing I've ever seen. Again, life's mysteries are limitless because we are limitless. Infinite potential. Tap into the magic. You are a divine, magical being. And no matter what in your experience, you can always unlock the mysteries within. Love you. Peace.